Now, guys, you've gone through your discovery, run your demo. You've clearly demonstrated that the product solves their pain point. Prospect is engaged. So what do you do next? In the SMB space, having your closing routine down to a T is key, even more so than in the mid-market and enterprise space where the sales cycles are a bit longer. In the SMB space, we're in the business of short sales cycles. And that means we need to be at our sharpest at the back end of the meeting, especially when delivering pricing. A closing is made up of several layers, guys. There's pre-closing, which will include objection handling. There's negotiation, commitment, contract out, actual signature. Remember, the deal is never done until it's done. Contract out is never cause for celebration. I see this all the time on sales floors. Got a contract out. Oh yeah, well done. Amazing. No, you only celebrate when the contract is signed and back in your DocuSign and you've got the notification. So let's kick this off with how we're going to cover pricing. Part 1, the value check. The goal here is to isolate the only remaining variable, and that's price. You've done the demo. You know the next step is pricing, but what you don't want to do is fall into the price trap, right? When a prospect asks, or even if it's the next step, they ask about pricing, we need to cover off any other concerns first. How do we do that? Great question. Before we move on to commercials, is there anything else outstanding from a product viewpoint, or are we good to go? Why is this so important? You don't just go into pricing without a checkpoint, checking in with the prospect. Either they've asked for pricing or you want to show them pricing because that's your next step as part of your demo. But you want to stop there and just check. I'm going to deliver pricing for you. Before I do that though, based on what you told me at the start of this call, it looks to me like we're ticking boxes here from a product standpoint. Is there anything else outstanding for you that I haven't covered that you'd like me to cover off from a product viewpoint? Only when you get confirmation from your prospect, who's, again, don't forget, super engaged, everything's going well, we're now going to guide them through pricing, get the green light first. We're good to go, Neil. Great. Let me show you pricing. Remember, the last thing you want to do is get into negotiations around commercials, and at the 11th hour, there's something still outstanding from a product standpoint. Because once you start going into commercials and you guide them through to contract and negotiations and contract, you can't then switch back to, but which needs to cover off something about the product. Well, what are we talking about here? You're not happy with the product yet, and we've negotiated and we're about to send a contract out. So remember, this is why you do this. You do not want to start negotiating and talking commercials when you haven't cleared the fact that the product is completely the right solution for your prospect and they're completely bought in. Step 2, the anchor and choice close. Control the negotiation by providing options and then anchoring the value. What do we mean by that? You want to present the options. Great. Based on everything we've discussed today, we have 3 investment options available for you. Option A gives you X, Y, and Z, and that's at X price point. Option B gives you X, Y, and Z, but also includes A, B, and C for the problem that you told me about previously at the start of this call. That is at Y price point. And then option C is our full suite. This is at price point Z. Based on our meetings today and everything we've covered off, my personal recommendation would be option B, as it ticks X, Y, and Z box for you. But curious to learn where you think you might fit in best. Pause. Let them speak. Now, we've delivered the options. You've got 3 options. You've then run through each individual option or package, what it involves, what the price is. Option 2, what it involves, what the price is. And option 3, what it involves and what the price is. Based on what we've covered today, my personal recommendation would be that you probably sit somewhere between option 1 and 2, but curious to know where you think you fit in best. You now shift the decision onto them. And you're going to stay quiet because what you're going to get now is their thoughts. They might agree with you. Yeah, I'll fit in with, I'll probably agree, Neil, fit in with option B. They might have some questions. They might have some objections. You're going to deal with that. So option B, just so I'm clear, that comes with X and Y and Z. Yes, it does. It comes with X, Y, and Z, which helps you solve problem A, B, C. You want to let them talk here. Okay. Let them exhaust through all of their thoughts. because their first thought or first objection typically won't be the real objection. You've just presented them with quite a lot of information. Let them digest it. They'll start asking questions. And when you hear an objection, for example, that's more than we budgeted. I hear that. What else? Notice we don't go into trying to combat that objection. Well, we could do this and that and provide X, Y, and Z solution. No. Yeah, I hear you. All right. What else? Well, I don't know if we should roll it out, part one of the team or one part of the team and then roll it out across the business. I hear you. What else? Keep using the I hear that, what else method until you reach the final objection, which is going to be price. You've now confirmed you're dealing with the actual final objection, which, as we know, is going to be price. Why? Because they've not got any problems with the product. They've just confirmed that with you before you went into pricing. We're great from a product standpoint. We're good to go, Neil. Show me the pricing. Great. Okay. So here's the pricing. And it's in everyone's, what everyone's instinct is what? Oh, seems a bit pricey, that. Seems a bit steep. Anything you can do on the price. It's just a natural reaction, isn't it? Either they're incentivized by the business or they're going to naturally react to the price and try and get a discount. It's just typically what happens in life. It could be half the price and you'll still face that price objection. If you're ticking all the other boxes you've just confirmed with them, you're still going to be facing the price objection. Okay, great. But we've isolated the price. What is our goal now? It's to stop wild and outlandish asks by keeping the prospect within your defined framework of concessions. How do we do that? Here's a talk track you can use. Well, as discussed, these are our investment options at list price, but for full transparency, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, there are 3 levers you can pull here to get to a comfortable spot pricing wise. Please note though, outside of this, the price is firm. Number 1, contract length. Happy to run a minimum 12-month contract, but if you're open to a 24 or 36-month term, you'll get a bigger discount. Same with payment terms. Again, happy to split this up for you biannually or quarterly. However, if you're able to pay up front, you'll get a bigger discount. And the third, and by far the biggest lever you can pull here, is speed to signature. We're a velocity-driven business. So what that means is outside of maintaining and advancing our product, myself and the rest of my sales team are the biggest expense to the business. So if we can speed up a sales cycle, we make a significant saving, big part of which we're happy to pass on to you as a thank you for working with us on this. So my question back to you would be, if we can hit the right price today with the right terms, would it be crazy to get something signed by close of play tomorrow, end of the week, end of the month? Choose the appropriate timeline in relation to your deal. So let's run through that again. Well, as discussed, these are our investment options at list price, but for full transparency, there are some levers you can pull here to get to a more comfortable spot pricing wise. Just want you to be aware though, outside of this, the price is firm. So one of the levers you can pull here is contract length. Happy to do a 12-month minimum contract. However, if you're good to engage in a 24-month or 36-month, a longer term contract with us, we'll reward you with a bigger discount. Same with payment terms. Again, happy to split it up biannually or quarterly. But if you're okay to pay up front, you'll get a bigger discount. And the third lever, and by far the biggest one that you can pull here, is speed to signature. Mr. Prospect, we are a velocity-driven business, as you know. That means that outside of maintaining our product, the biggest expense to the business right now is myself and the rest of my team. If we can shorten up those sales cycles, we make a huge saving, part of which we're happy to pass on to you as a discount, as a thank you for working with us on this. So my question back to you would be, if we can hit the right price mark today with the right payment terms, would it be crazy to get something signed by close of play tomorrow? And then wait for their response, right? Because their response to your would it be crazy question will tell you if there's anything else that needs doing or if they're good to go. You'll find out exactly what needs to be done for sign off. Either they go, no, it's not crazy, in which case you move forward with options. We're going to cover this next week, so make sure you tune in. Or they say, yeah, well, that would be crazy, Neil, because John in finance needs to know about this. We need to make him aware and he's off for the rest of the week. Or I need to update Sarah in legal that we're doing this. Then you know what's still outstanding before you can get the deal done. Either way, you know where you stand. Now, guys, feel free to use different levers there, but Don't change the speed to velocity. That's how you create the urgency, and that's how you actually then justify the discount. Right? If you're able to shorten up our sales cycle, it means we can run more sales cycles in that time, and we're happy to reward you with a discount. I would personally suggest sticking to those three: contract length, payment terms, and speed to sign off. But again, make it as applicable as you can to your own product. Make sure you have three. The importance of three is massive, and the psychology behind it is huge. We're going to go into that on next week's pod as well. So again, if you want to know more about that, make sure you tune in. So there you have it. I hope that was useful. I want you to put it into action. But once they say, no, it's not crazy, what do you do next? As I said, tune in next week to find out how you go from commitment to signature to closed one, signed contract, commission in your next paycheck, onto the next deal. Best way to make sure you don't miss that is to hit subscribe now. Guys, that is it for this week's Sell the Future podcast. As I said, if you haven't already, please do like it. It does help me reach more people. I would appreciate it massively. Plus, it means you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. And if you want to see more of me right now, because you can't get enough of the SaaS Sales Misfit, click on the video right here, and I'll see you guys in there.